Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Olive Boy Pens. Today, I'm going to be debuting a new series called Hey, Nice Pen. I'm going to be talking about 5 different pens that I already have in my collection under a vague theme that I've come up with to basically be able to make videos again, but not have to buy a new pen every time I want to make a new video. And barring any outstanding sponsorships, that's how I'm going to make new videos lately. So thank you for your support in advance. And thank you for those of you who've patiently waited about a year since my last upload. Today, we're going to be talking about pocket pens. Pocket pens are something that I personally am really about, though not necessarily in the traditional sense. I don't always pocket pens that are pocket pens, if that makes sense. I really tend to prefer something that deploys really quickly rather than necessarily be like a teeny tiny little pen, because very often those teeny tiny little pens will make compromises that make me not want to use them. For example, being a cartridge only pen, big no-no. Being, having a really long threaded cap and then you got to thread the cap on the back again. Another big no-no. I'm talking about you, Koeko Lilliput. I don't think you make sense. So I'm going to show you guys what I tend to carry around, what I tend to like, and a little bit about why. So first off, we're going to be looking at a classic, the Pilot Capless. While a modern Pilot Vanishing Point may have been one of my first nice pens, I never fell in love with the concept until I tried this one. It has an aluminum body and a beautiful low-profile pocket clip compared to the heavy brass and ugly clip on the modern Vanishing Point. And that's just, my opinion. The nib is a perfect fine, as good for a quick note as it is for a little drawing. The only downside is the imperfect cap seal, which is only really a problem if I don't use it for a while, and that's not a common occurrence. A few years ago, I did a vintage versus modern episode on the Kaweco Sport, featuring the 70s hooded nib V16 and the $20 modern cartridge filler pen. Now I have the better version of both, the new $75 piston fill model and an older, flexier V12 Sport from the 50s. The Piston Sport is larger and comes with a clip, but feels decidedly plasticky. I also replaced the nib with a vintage Eversharp one because I have a problem. The V12 has a perfect nib, truly, but it is really small, even posted. Both, despite their minor shortcomings, are awesome pocket pens that I recommend wholeheartedly if you can get your hands on one. When I first walked into the Lamy store in January of 2018, the original Dialog 3 floored me. What a crazy pen. A metal telescoping hot dog that you can write with. Well, this is its more pocketable Vienna sausage cousin. It is a little bit lighter, but not by much, and the nibs are smooth, but not very fine. It stays home more often than the capless, but I still really like it as a conversation starter, especially to show to people who think fountain pens are only being used by candlelight and have feathers on the end. The cap seal is equally imperfect to the capless, but what can you do? Now, up until this point, I have been perfectly earnest with you in that I do use those pens as pocket pens. These, on the other hand, not so much. These are a pair of Wahl metal pocket pens from the 1920s. They are truly itty-bitty. The smaller one uses what's called a number 0 nib, and they're so small that if you lose the nib by some accident, it's basically impossible to replace them because they're so small that they had to be made individual to each pen. The number 2 sized, which is the slightly larger one, is in a beautiful pattern called Console, which is on the rarer side, and it also has a beautiful mottled ebonite grip. Do I actually use these that often? No. Do I think that they're very, very special and I love them very much? Also, yes. Funny story about the number 0 Wahl is that I once wore it on a necklace to work, and as I was crossing Market Street, it uncapped itself and fell almost down a sewer grate. It did not, but now it doesn't leave the house anymore. They're both lever fillers as well. It's just a mess. It's a mess. Lastly, on this pocket pen showcase, I am showing a pen that is really, truly very dear to me. This is a Sheaffer Compact 2 with a beautiful factory stub nib. It is one of the better stub nibs I've ever used. It's 14 karat golds, really, really nice flow and very smooth. And the pocket pen format is actually really nice as well. It's got a short little clip, it's a short body, but when you post it, it's actually the same size as a full-sized Sheaffer Imperial, which is a totally usable pen. The snap cap is nice and secure. The cartridges are proprietary but very large and very easy to refill with a syringe, and so they last forever on a single fill. Alrighty, well that has been the first of so far 3 episodes of Hey Nice Pen that will be coming your way shortly. I hope you enjoyed a look at all of my beautiful pocket pens, and you will see me sooner than you've seen me in the past. I promise not to disappear for a year again. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to like, feel free to comment. I love replying to your guys' comments when they're nice. Yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.